house always wins. Play long enough, you never change the stakes. The house takes you. Unless, when that perfect hand comes along, you bet big, and then you take the house. Been practicing this pitch a little bit. Did I rush it? Felt like I rushed.
That was good. I liked it.
What's up, everybody, and welcome back to the Big Easy Bets podcast. I'm your host, Logan, and with me in the studio, Nick Von Brick.
Yo!
With us on the ones and twos, no longer Justin. Jesse is filling in for us. Like I said, we're going to be playing producer roulette, but Justin went out on a high note, nearly swept the board, NFL and college football. So we'll recap his final plays. But again, thank you to Justin for the help. Like I said, if they make a movie about us one day, Justin will have to be involved in that. Justin's been a day one part of this podcast. And like I said, he went out on a high note. The Big Easy Bets podcast is brought to you by BetStamp. So if you're looking for a place to place your bets, need a sports book, you want to take advantage of the promo offers, the season is passing us by at this point. So if you haven't done it yet, you're probably not going to do it. But signupexpert.com/BigEasyBets. The link is in the description. You can click the link, help our podcast out while taking advantage of those promo offers. We do appreciate the guys over at BetStamp. Episode 203, this is college football week 11, NFL week 10. We've got a lot to recap and dive into. Before we give you our best bets for this upcoming week, I think it is safe to say that we're in a slump.
Yeah.
Would you agree?
Yeah.
Yeah, we got to get out the mud starting this week. I feel pretty good. Do you feel good about it?
No.
I
don't know.
No.
Hard to feel good.
Yeah, no. Whenever it's funny because when things, even if you get lucky and things are going well, you just see the board so well.
Oh yeah, you're like, okay, that.
Yeah, winner. When you're losing, it's like I can't. It took me a little while, but it opened up for me. Like I said, we got a lot to get into. It's election day, so hopefully you all did your civic duty and went out there and voted. I don't give a shit if you did or didn't, to be quite honest. It's easy to kind of get caught up in the stressfulness of this time, I guess. Don't waste your energy on it. Either way, whoever wins, your person, their person, it doesn't matter. Everybody's supposed to be on the same team. Don't waste your energy. You're going to wake up tomorrow, you're going to go to work, and try to have a good day. Shit ain't going to change that much. There's a lot of turmoil. So it's a stressful time.
Yeah.
So, and it's more stressful when you're losing bets.
Yeah, this is the biggest election of all time.
Yeah, I mean, who gives a shit? They don't care about you. They don't care about me. So it is Tuesday. It's election day. So that means we are going to have a new leader of the Saints because Dennis Allen got fired on his ass. The Saints lost to the Panthers, an unprecedented game where we outgained them, won the turnover battle, won the time of possession. Every single major key factor to winning a football game, we dominated, and we still lost. So Dennis Allen got canned. Sayonara. See you later. It was the first good thing that Gayle Benson's done for us in a minute.
Yeah, it felt so good.
Yeah. So if you're a Saints fan, you got to be – it's not a good time to be a Saints fan, but it's better today than it was the other day. So Dennis Allen is fired. We still stink, make no mistake. The team's going to be fired up with Rizzy, I'd imagine. But Mickey Loomis did not want to do it. You could tell by his press release or his statement. He didn't even have a press conference for one. He sat up there and compared him to Bill Belichick and Chuck Noll and blah, blah, smacking on his gum whenever he hired him and after that first year. But when we're getting rid of him, you're not going to go say anything? He released a statement saying that it's a sad day. He's a great coach, and he's an integral part of the success of this franchise and this and that. He didn't want him to go. Gayle Benson said, get him the fuck out of here. I think that's truly what happened. It doesn't sound like he wanted him to leave.
No, I think that's what happened as well.
Which is insane to me because Dennis Allen, with the Saints, was 18-25 over 3 years. 26-53 overall, the third worst win percentage of any coach in the history of the league. Dennis Allen is a lifetime loser. He's not a good football coach. He's not a good head coach. Decent coordinator, bad head coach. It's a good day. It's a good day. We needed it to happen. Marshawn Lattimore's traded. We're in a rebuild. So wake up. Everybody you like on this team, gone. They're gone. Kiss them goodbye. We're going to be bad for the foreseeable future. Hot take, we need to hire the second best available coach. Because we're going to suck. We got to pull a Mark Jackson, and then Steve Kerr's going to – then we got to go find Steve Kerr. Because we're going to be bad. You don't want to get the good coach. He has 2 years of winning 4 games, and then we fire him. Get the second best option. Lay the foundation, lay the groundwork, then go get the best guy.
Yeah, I'm not even sure who's going to be like up there as far as candidates is concerned.
Ben Johnson is number 1 on most people's short list. Offensive coordinator for the Lions. Lions certainly look like the best team in football. I think the betting odds would have him going to Chicago, and Eberflus isn't even fired yet, but he might as well be. So Ben Johnson, Vrabel's up there. Actually, the betting favorite to come to New Orleans, now that I think about it, was Joe Brady.
Wow.
That'd be interesting.
Yeah, he hasn't been a coordinator for a very long time. He got fired from –
Wait, I thought he was with Buffalo.
Yeah, he is now, but originally he got fired in Carolina, and then he landed in Buffalo.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know who I would want. I don't really care right now. I'm not even thinking about it. I'm not wasting energy on it. We fired Dennis Allen. Great. Marshawn Lattimore's now with the Commanders. He's gone. That's the first domino. The glory days of recent history, 2016, 17, 18, 19, that's gone. All those players are going to be gone. You're starting from the ground up at this point. Chris Olave might not play ever again.
Yeah.
God only knows. Derek Carr keeps throwing him hospital balls and leaving him out to dry. But yeah, Dennis Allen, a lifetime loser. He's fired. Jeff Duncan, the reporter for NOLA.com or whatever, you saw what he said? He, 5 minutes, a cup of coffee after this guy got fired, Jeff Duncan says we should really be thankful for Dennis Allen and should strongly consider him for the Saints Hall of Fame.
Oh, yeah, I saw that.
like, what are we doing, dude? What are we doing? Can we celebrate? Can we rejoice in this guy's firing for 5 damn seconds before we start talking about the Saints Hall of Fame? Are we going to specify coordinator? Because he ain't going in as a head coach.
No.
Thank you for your service in, 2006 and whatever. It's like, I don't care. This was a stain in the history of the Saints. This was a terrible, terrible stretch. Bad coach, bad top to bottom. Once the defense went, you had nothing with Dennis Allen. We were not a good team. If you're even considering Dennis Allen in the Saints Hall of Fame, you better fucking put Greg Williams in that bitch.
Yeah.
Greg Williams
and
better
Darren
be a
Sharper too.
Well, yeah. A little different.
No, but that was a joke.
Yeah,
As a player though, great player.
Just player. If we're talking on the field, yeah, Darren Sharper's a Hall of Famer for sure. Off the field though, not good. So yeah, we bad loss to the Panthers. When Derek Carr threw that ball down the left sideline and it was broken up, there was a part of me that was like, see you later, loser.
Yeah, what's the deal with that? What's the deal with him on fourth down? He just likes to throw it deep.
It is funny, yeah, and Shaheed ain't on the field, so it ain't going to work.
Because he did it in the game he got hurt, on the play he got hurt.
Yeah. No, that's what he does. He stinks.
Yeah.
He stinks. Okay, with Derek Carr, in all seriousness, if we're going to – I saw people comparing like, oh, well, Spencer Rattler did this and that. Derek Carr is a 10-year vet. This is who Derek Carr is. There's no situation that he is going to go in that he's magically going to win football games and be this MVP caliber player like a lot of these people want to pretend he is. Derek Carr is a lifetime loser. Never won a playoff game, never will win a playoff game. He's gotten poor Dennis Allen fired twice now on 2 separate occasions. This guy's hitched his wagon to a lifetime loser. We need to stop pretending like Derek Carr is anything more than he is, because 10 years now have shown you that this guy is a average at best quarterback on his best day. The situation around him has to be picture perfect. One read, first read, better be wide open or shit's hitting the fan. Derek Carr is not a good quarterback. He is an okay NFL quarterback for the duration of his career, and that's all he ever will be. And if you want to talk about winning percentages, he's one of the worst through his tenure. His brother, one of the worst. The Carrs are not the best quarterback family. So, what can you do? It is what it is. We got to stop. We got to call a spade a spade. Michael Thomas pretty much committed career suicide. I don't know if that's not okay to say, career suicide, by going out and saying what everybody is thinking on Twitter. I'm not saying I disagree with Michael Thomas, but the way the NFL works, brother, you ain't coming back after that.
No, I don't think he had a chance after all the other stuff he did.
Yeah. Which sucks because Michael Thomas had that year where he set the reception record and was unguardable. In my opinion, the best receiver we've ever had. So I understand Colston. Like, I'll always love Colston, and I love Joe Horn. Dante Stallworth was good. But in all seriousness, Michael Thomas was the best route runner. At his peak, dude, Michael Thomas was unstoppable. And we had an era where we had the best wide receiver in our franchise history, the best cornerback in our franchise history, in my opinion, the best running back in our franchise history, all on the same team. Best quarterback. Couldn't get the job done, which that's the way the cookie crumbles sometimes. But, yeah, Michael Thomas is probably not going to see the field again. Maybe in the XFL, maybe in the CFL, but probably not the NFL. A couple other things before we get into the recap. Update on Keon Coleman, Khalil Shakir. Khalil Shakir's leading the way, 471 yards. Keon Coleman has 417 yards, and he's directly responsible for Josh Allen's second interception on the year.
Yeah.
What was that?
That was huge.
What was that? I have Josh Allen. You needed it.
Yeah.
I have Josh Allen in fantasy. He can't catch.
Yeah, he has a wrist injury, I think.
Oh yeah, he's got hand injuries too. He's not good. Are we gonna? Okay, I take that back. I take that back. But he's the third best wide receiver on the team. Fair to say?
I don't know.
What do you mean?
I mean, the season's not over.
I understand, but how many every single game he drops a critical ball. Would you disagree with that? Some are contested catches, I understand, but that's his thing. He's the contested catch guy, no? Because he ain't the burner. We talked about that already. He runs a slower 40 than some of us did in high school.
Okay, I wouldn't go that far.
You have to admit that you thought he was going to be better than he is currently.
I didn't see him getting off to as slow of a start as he did.
And no way you saw as many drops.
I don't know.
What do you mean? He drops one every fucking game.
How many drops does he have?
I mean, I could. Let me. You really want me to pull it up?
Yeah.
It's gonna take me a second.
I'm trying to see get an update on his
Let me see. Hold on. Team reports receiving Keon Coleman. I can tell you in a couple seconds if my shit would load. Of course. It just went so fast up until this screen. Jesus Christ. Give me a second. But anyway, Khalil Shakir's leading the way. Keon Coleman, maybe. Not yet. He ain't there yet. I do have a question about the Chiefs, which I think is very interesting. The Chiefs got by the Buccaneers in overtime. Are the Chiefs the most fraudulent undefeated team ever? I use fraudulent lightly, I suppose, because they are good. They're one of the best teams in the league. But they're not the best team, but they're undefeated. How many times are these guys going to squeak by?
Yeah, it seems like they're squeaking by all the time.
So are they they're not as good as their record, but would you say they're the best team in football?
Yeah, I would.
Over the Lions.
Yeah.
Over the Ravens.
Mm-hmm.
Really? DeAndre Hopkins helps.
Yeah.
Getting Hopkins certainly helps. 2 touchdowns right off the bat. Okay, here we go. Finally, Jesus Christ. Drops on the year. He's got, if it'll show it to me, dude. This is crazy. Says he's only got 3, but 12%.
12% of his targets are dropped?
Yes.
Or
yes. 12% drop percentage. That's pretty high.
Yeah.
Khalil Shakir doesn't drop the ball ever.
Oh, yeah, it's easy to catch a screen.
Well, that's not my problem. What do you mean? He ain't catching 100 yards worth of screens.
I don't know. He's getting a lot of yards from screens.
Couple other things. the Saquon Barkley reverse hurdle was probably the most impressive thing I've ever seen on a football field.
Yeah.
That was incredible. And it's like when you think about it, it seems pretty simple. Like he just it worked out perfectly, but to have the wherewithal to do it, it's not often that everybody unanimously goes in agreement. I've never seen that done before, but I've never seen that ever done. His body control's insane. The spin move before the hurdle was sick. He's like a creative player.
Yeah, it was like, remember when we were kids and we thought we could make it to the NFL?
Yeah.
And then you look at that.
Yeah. It's like, that should be the perfect example for everybody when they're like armchair quarterbacks, like giving people shit for being hurt or whatever.
Yeah.
It's like they're not normal. So if I tried to do that, I couldn't even jump and do a 180, let alone hurdle another grown man. I don't think I could jump right now and face the opposite direction without pulling something.
Yeah.
So, without a doubt, the most impressive thing I've seen. To have just the awareness and the wherewithal and pull it off and just crazy. So this happened shortly after. This was the Thursday night game, happened shortly after we recorded. Garrett Wilson's one-handed catch in the back of the end zone. A lot of people are trying to say that it's better than Odell Beckham's catch.
Yeah, they're out of their mind.
Insane. Yeah. Under no circumstances. It was a great catch. I don't necessarily know or agree with the 1 foot and shin on the same leg down counting as inbounds. We needed the Jets, so I was fine with it. But to say that catch is better than Odell Beckham's 50-yard deep ball as he's getting interfered with that he caught with 3 fingers and still scored the touchdown, not even close. Odell Beckham's one-handed catch is the greatest catch in the history of the NFL, and it probably will never be topped. So there's no debate. Garrett Wilson's catch was very good, probably the best catch of the year, not the best catch of all time, not even up for debate. And that's pretty much all I got. So we can get into the recap. Anything else?
No.
Okay. Like I said, we're in a slump. We got to get out of it starting right now, and we plan to. College football started it off with Liberty -2. Liberty's bad. I knew they were bad. Shouldn't have did it. The quarterback for Jacksonville State played. They just aren't very good. So we started off with the loser there. Then we went to Saturday, Virginia Tech -4. This one was extremely frustrating for a number of reasons. Kyron Drones was a late scratch. Starting quarterback, arguably best player on the team. 5 minutes before kickoff, they say he's not playing. He's in a walking boot. There was no report of it anywhere. That happens sometimes in college football because they can get by with some shady shit. So we were victimized by it. Bashal Tutin dressed out. He was questionable to play. We knew it going in. He didn't play at all. Dressed out, didn't touch the field. And Virginia Tech was still up 21-3. Colin Schlee, the backup quarterback, played very well. And then they blew it. Overtime loss. I felt like I should have had this one. The day started off very well on Saturday, at least. We went 3-1. I really felt like we should have been 4-0. Ohio State, Penn State under 45.5. This wouldn't even have been close if not for a pick six from Will Howard, because that's what Will Howard does. Penn State's offense couldn't do anything, which we'll get to because you were on it as well. Miami -20.5. If I'm being completely honest with you, dead honest, I 100% forgot I bet this game. And I did bet it. I forgot I bet it. I saw it going on. I was even tweeting about it. I was like, can Manny Diaz pull off the upset?
Yeah, I was like, what is he doing?
I had it like in the quad box. I came and sat in to make a clip, and I looked at the board, and I went, I said, oh, my God, I fucking bet Miami. I was like, I forgot. At last I saw they were up like 8. But then so they were up 8, and they threw a deep ball touchdown. It was like a slant that they took the house. And then I remember I said to myself, I was like, watch these motherfuckers cover the number. I was like, they're going to come back. I said, it looked like Duke could have had a chance to win. I was like, watch these motherfuckers cover the number. And I pull it up on the computer. I'm like, thank fucking God. They scored like 21 points in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, this was wild because Duke was up 28-17 in the third quarter.
Crazy.
Like with 5 minutes left in the third quarter.
I don't ever do that either. And I had no idea. I forgot completely I bet it.
Yeah.
Not a good look, I understand. But, hey, put another winner under the belt. Tennessee -16.5. I felt like coming out of the bye that Tennessee's offense would figure some things out and Heupel would be able to dial up some offense. They are struggling, specifically in the first half. Really, really struggling to put points up on the board. The kicker missed 3 kicks, though. If he makes those, we cover this number. Fucking immediately when a kicker misses a kick, I start looking at their face, and there's shit that I immediately don't like. I fucking hate their kicker. I think his last name's Gilbert. An absolute piece of shit. They weren't even close, and I don't know why you keep trotting him out there. But so that one was frustrating. Michigan State plus 7.5. They were up 10-0 after the first quarter. I felt like I was a genius. It's like I fucking called this. And then I don't know if they scored again. I think they gave up 40. So got in front of the freight train that is Indiana and paid the price for it big time. Minnesota -2. It was a little dicey there down the stretch, if I'm being honest, but they ended up winning by 8. Minnesota was in control for the large part, but there was an opportunity, I think, for I'm blanking on who they even fucking played. There was an opportunity for them to not cover this number down the stretch, but they got the job done. So we go 3-4, 41, 43, and 1 overall. You had 4 plays. It was a tough week.
Yeah, Penn State plus 3.5. They ended up losing by 7. Ohio State, the yard margin was wide here for Ohio State, but when you look back at the game, early in the game, Penn State gets a stop on 3rd and 14, and there's a taunting penalty for stepping over.
That was a horseshit call. Yeah.
That drive ends up going from a punt to being 7 points for Ohio State.
Yeah, that was crazy.
You do get fortunate with the pick 6 and then Will Howard fumbling at the goal line out of the end zone, but then Penn State had the ball at the end of both halves.
Yeah.
Inside the 5-yard line, fucking Gus Johnson, touchdown! I'm like, are you sure it's a touchdown? Because I can't see.
You can tell something's wrong with his
And
eyes.
then it's not only is it not a touchdown, it's not an incomplete pass, it's an interception.
I think it was
great play. It was a great throw,
that
too.
was Igbinosun. Yeah, it was a perfect ball, but yeah, just bounced off of him, and then incredible to get the feet in and secure it that quick was impressive.
Penn State ends up getting 0 points, and then at the end of the game, Penn State's inside the 5-yard line, again with a chance of tie.
Got stuffed.
And, bro, the play calling there.
Yeah, didn't they keep putting an offensive lineman in motion and
then not even doing anything?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. You bring a big guy in as a decoy? Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, like somebody's going to go with him and open it up underneath. Yeah, no, I don't understand. And this is the whole thing coming in. This is what I said. Who do you trust more, Dumb or Dumber, Ryan Day or James Franklin? Neither one's good in the big games. James Franklin, what does he want? He might be – I don't think he's ever beat Ohio State. I could be wrong about that. If he has, it's only been once.
Yeah, one time in, I think, 2016.
Well, then, yeah, he's like barely ever, if ever, beat Ohio State. And then against top 5 teams, I think it was, like just as bad.
Yeah.
Like only one win. James Franklin is kind of in that Brian Kelly category, I guess, when things were going poorly for LSU. We were talking about it, and I was more get him the fuck out of here than you were, obviously. You weren't at all, but the point was, who are you going to get that's better? James Franklin's in that category. Who are you going to get that's better?
Yeah.
He does a good job of recruiting the defensive side of the football year in and year out with a guy, Abdul Carter this year. You had Micah Parsons. You had Chop Robinson for Miami. The D-line's consistently stacked. Offensively, I don't know what you do, because I was watching this game and you had Penn State. Obviously, I felt like I said I would have leaned that way. But this was the same Penn State of last year, offense. They couldn't do anything on the offensive side of the football.
Yeah, they're dumb because they want to bring in the backup and try to run it, and then they just get behind.
270 total yards, 3 of 11 on third down. Time of possession was pretty even. To be quite honest, this turned into Ohio, and as somebody we're both on Ohio State futures, right?
Yeah.
I felt pretty good because they started leaning on that offensive line. They've had to move some pieces around. They've dealt with injuries. I felt like the offensive line did a really good job holding up, and they started leaning on them in the run game. And
especially on the final drive.
Yes, and they put it away.
Because they were able to milk close to 5 minutes off of the clock.
But that's what you need. So they had 4.4 yards per rush. They ran it 40 times. I don't care how you win ugly, just win. Don't let fucking Will Howard lose the game for you, which he tried to do, dude. That was such a bad throw.
Yeah, and that was one of the main reasons we were on Penn State. Yeah. And I don't think that those concerns we saw him in the game.
That was justified. Yeah, no, Will Howard he just has that thing where some guys have it where they're going to go win you the game, and other guys are not able to get the job done. And he has, luckily for Will Howard, he has the best roster around him with the most talent top to bottom. because he's going to throw a pick six, and then he's going to carry it like a loaf of bread and fumble the ball out the fucking end zone, which is somebody who was sitting on an under. That was good, and good for you as well. But they're in all likelihood, this could have been a game where Penn State doesn't score a touchdown, and Ohio State could have another 10-plus points, and you're looking at a 30-6 dominant win.
Yeah, I mean, Penn State had it inside the 5 twice and got 0, so
True.
I don't see it exactly the same way as that.
I mean, I just think when you look at just 270 yards of offense, and they weren't able – there was times where it felt just like last year where Aller –
They didn't score an offensive touchdown. They only had 1 touchdown from –
Oh, you're right. Yeah, the pick six.
Pick six.
Yes. So, but 3.8 yards per rush with a team that's supposed to be able to run the ball. But it's like we've said coming into this year that the offensive line's not playing great. Katron Allen and Singleton have struggled as a result of it.
They didn't do a good job of getting, like, especially on the final drive. I thought for sure they were going to get Tyler Warren the ball.
Yeah.
They use him in Wildcat, and they did it earlier in the drive to convert on a short yardage situation.
Yeah, he led the team in rushing. He only had 4 catches.
And then for sure on that drive, I thought for sure they were going to go to Tyler Warren Wildcat and try to punch it in the end zone, but they didn't.
So the question, I guess, is how much of it is that this is just the same old Penn State offense of last year, or that Ohio State's defense played well?
I don't want to take anything away from Ohio State's defense. I thought the offensive game plan for Ohio State was the most impressive thing about the game.
Mm-hmm.
And then the lack of Penn State's offensive play calling was the other thing, the big 2 takeaways.
Yeah. I don't know how does your tight end lead you in rushing and your running back lead you in receiving? Doesn't make sense, but that's how you lose a game and don't score a touchdown. So, yeah, you go 1-3, brings you to 23, 34-1, 6-5 in your locks of the week. We got to do better. We're going to start doing better this week. Got to. Justin swept the board 4-0. Mississippi State was his lock, 18.5-point favorites. They get the job done. Slow start, but they cover. Oklahoma, I think, was tied 7-all at the first quarter against Maine, and then they come storming back and cover a gigantic spread there. He was on the under with me on Ohio State, Penn State, and then whatever his fourth one was, I'm blanking on it, but take my word for it, he swept the board. Went out on a high note, 7-3-1 in his locks of the week. So Justin did what he had to do. So impressive performance. We look ahead to college football week 11. Do you have anything for midweek?
I have Thursday.
You do?
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay. Lead the way then.
I'm going to the App State Coastal Carolina game. Coastal's 1-point favorites and the total 62.5. It's 2 teams kind of trending in opposite directions. App State's won 2 in a row. Coastal's lost their last 3. Both defenses are pretty bad. Both of them rank outside the top 100 in yards per play allowed. I think Coastal kind of has somewhat of advantage offensively here. I think they'll be able to establish the run. App State ranks 126 in the nation in yards per rush allowed. But I really think App State, their passing game and the explosiveness of their offense has a little bit more of an edge against Coastal Carolina. So we're going to take App State +1, but we're also going to take App State Coastal over 62.5.
Okay. Okay, so you're going double.
Yeah.
Okay. I was leaning App State. I think if you look at it, if I remember correctly, yeah, they won the last 2. I was looking at something, so I'm going to be honest with you. I didn't. You may have already said exactly that. But Aguilar started off really poorly.
Yeah.
And they're playing better as of late. So I was looking at it. It only being 1 point was enticing. I would certainly lean App State. But I'll hold off on it now. Going to Friday. Do you have anything Friday?
No.
Okay. I think I may. Yeah, I do. I have 2. We're starting it off with Cal and Wake Forest. Cal has had to do a lot of traveling. They're in the Atlantic Coast Conference, but they are in California, so it doesn't make sense. But they have to go across the country, and they're going to have to do it again. A lot of traveling in the ACC. They lost 4 out of their last 5. California to North Carolina. It's a long way to go. This is an average Wake Forest team with a quarterback who I obviously know very well, and Hank Bachmeier. Which Hank Bachmeier are you going to get? That is the question. Y'all said earlier this season that y'all felt like he was playing well. I think in that particular game, that next game, I think Justin was on it. I don't think it went very well. Cal is the much better team. The spread represents that, in my opinion. But Cal has an offensive line issue that I don't know that they're able to overcome. They're 129th in sacks allowed. They're also 106th in third down conversion percentage, and they're 118th in penalties. Penalties and sacks are what kill drives. This is why they do so poorly on third down. Wake also struggles in the trenches, 106th in sacks allowed and 122nd in sacks for. Bachmeier's getting sacked a lot. They're not getting after the quarterback a lot. I trust Cal's defense to figure out the slow mesh offense and bother an inconsistent Hank Bachmeier, but I cannot trust Cal in their offensive line. I worry that some of the drives will stall out, and in this particular case, I'm hoping they do. So I'm going under 55, Cal and Wake Forest. Did you look at this one at all?
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, the spread, I think, is kind of where it should be right now. So it's kind of tempting to lay just 7 with Cal. But then again, you mentioned the travel being a factor here, West Coast to East Coast. So I don't know. The Wake Forest defense, Cal's defense has played better lately.
Yeah, no, their defense is good. Their defense is not bad.
And then with Ott coming back, he came back last game against Oregon State for playing meaningful time. And it's kind of gotten their offense going a little bit. But, yeah, I don't know. I think that maybe Cal. You look at the Cal-Pittsburgh game, low scoring 17-15.
Yeah.
And
their defense is good. The coach is a good defensive mind. I lean Cal with the points as well. The reason why they have an offensive line issue is Wake Forest going to be able to exploit it? Because it's kind of one of those, they're not getting after the quarterback, and Cal's letting everybody like a revolving door get after the quarterback. A large part of that came from that Florida State game where he got sacked quite a bit. But I feel more confident with the under here. I think I trust Cal's defense to be able to maintain Wake Forest and then, run the ball, run the clock, low scoring. I got another one for Friday. 8 p.m. tip or kick. It is college basketball season, which I'm happy about, but we're not there yet. Iowa, UCLA. Right to it. I'm going to lay it with Iowa. Caleb Johnson's one of the best running backs in the nation, one of the most efficient. Brendan Sullivan started the last 2 games at quarterback. He's a clear upgrade over Cade McNamara. He provides a dual threat aspect. He's making Iowa tough to stop. They scored 40-plus points in their last 2 games against Northwestern and Wisconsin. UCLA has gotten it back on the tracks a little bit. I will give them credit for that because there was a point in time where they looked like the worst team out of any of the power conference schools. They're much more of a formidable opponent since then, but I don't trust them to consistently be able to execute against a really good Iowa defense, a team that's good on the road under Ferenz. I'm going to take the Hawkeyes. I'm going to lay 5.5. And Caleb Johnson, run the ball, play good defense, play Iowa football, make Garber's life tough. Iowa, minus 5.5. What is your next one? Nothing for Friday, you said?
No, I might hop on Iowa, too.
You were thinking about it?
Yeah.
I think
they made a quarterback change or something happened.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Brendan Sullivan. He's better, for sure. 100% better. I was watching him he's one of those, he's got that it factor a little bit. But it's Iowa, so you got to dumb it down. Like it ain't like an SEC quarterback it factor, but he's good. The dual threat is going to make them tough. So, and the defense travels, run game travels. Caleb Johnson's extremely good. Iowa minus 5.5. We go to Saturday. What is your first play?
It's a 2:30 game.
Oh, okay. Let me go then. You got nothing at 11? Okay. I got a couple. We'll start it off with West Virginia and Cincinnati. No Garrett Green for West Virginia. At least he's doubtful, so wouldn't expect him to go. The backup looked pretty good against Arizona, but it's Arizona, so Arizona's not good. Sorsby has struggled as of late, but it's going to be a lot easier to find success against West Virginia's abysmal secondary. They're extremely, extremely bad. It's one of the worst secondaries in college football. And then defensively on third down, they're 123rd in the nation, so they're not getting off the field. Sorsby looked a lot better early on. He's kind of slowed down as of late. I felt like he would do a little bit better against Colorado at 34-23. I think I bet the over in that one. It was 57 on the nose. I think they're a balanced enough offense with Kiner running the ball. I'm taking Cincinnati -4.5 here. I think they played last year. West Virginia killed them at home. A little bit of revenge factor here with Garrett Green hurt. I'm laying the points with Cincinnati.
Yeah.
-4.5. I got another one at 11. We're going Minnesota Rutgers. Going back to it, we were on Minnesota last week. Rutgers has lost 4 straight. They are coming off of a bye. Take it with a grain of salt. Teams have figured out if you can bottle up Monungai. Cal Lake Manis is not that good. It's unlikely that he's going to beat you. This could be a little revenge game here. Cal Lake Manis was the quarterback of Minnesota last year. They know him well. I like Brosmer in this Minnesota team. I really like Darius Taylor, stud running back. He did get a little banged up. I think it was an ankle last week. I'm expecting him to play. I think he will go. He's very good, really efficient runner. Makes life easier for, I don't know if it's Brosmer or Brosmer. It might be Brosmer. You know?
No.
Okay, well, Rutgers is struggling to stop the run this year. This is not the typical Rutgers defense that we're accustomed to. So I am going to lay the points with Minnesota on the road. I understand. Little fishy, little trappy maybe a bad bet, but time will tell. We're laying it with the Golden Gophers again. Minnesota -6. What's your 230?
I'm going to 18th ranked Army at North Texas. The over-under 63.5. High total for an Army game.
Yeah.
Army hasn't really played anybody. Definitely not an offense like North Texas has. North Texas is 5th in the nation in yards per play. I think Army a little bit susceptible to explosive passing plays. And when you look at the line of scrimmage, defensively, Army's really not that strong, only stuffing 13% of opponents' run. So I think North Texas definitely has a shot to hang in this one. So we're going to take North Texas +5.5. I would also maybe, I don't know, on the one hand, I think like maybe both of these teams score every time they get the ball. On the other hand, you look at Army, they're going to definitely be able to milk the clock here a little bit. So you wonder if that total is a little high.
Yeah. Okay. Iowa State and Kansas. Are you on it?
No.
All righty. I have not decided, so I was hoping you would be on it. But I'm looking at side or total, not both, one or the other. This is going to be at Arrowhead Stadium, so it's a neutral site. I've been saying it. I really do think Jalen Daniels figured something out. I don't know what started clicking, but since that Arizona State game where he threw the go-ahead touchdown, and that should have won him the game. It was a game-winning drive from Arizona State with Levitt and Scatterbo. It was a good drive there, but it was not. They did not lose that game because of Jaden Daniels. Since then, he's thrown for 700-plus yards, 6 touchdowns, 1 interception. The problem for Kansas is that their defense is struggling. 74th in total defense, 89th in third down defense. They're not getting off the field. You're able to run on them. They're not doing very well. Iowa State's defense is not much better on third down, 82nd. The strength of the Iowa State defense is in the secondary. They're 3rd in the nation in passing yards allowed at 146 per game. But I think I'm going to put faith in Jalen Daniels here to be able to score the ball. I was conflicted on either Kansas or the over. I think I'm going to go Kansas. We're going to go the Jayhawks. It's college basketball season, so if you can back Kansas these days, you need to be doing it. But in all seriousness, Jalen Daniels, I don't know what it was. I really don't. But all of a sudden, he decided he's not going to throw interceptions anymore. So we're going to take the Jayhawks +3.
Okay.
What's your next one?
I'm going to go to Alabama LSU.
I'm on it.
Okay, I'm taking LSU +3.
Yeah, me too.
I think it's fresh on everybody's minds or memories. Marcel Reed, what he was able to do running the football, and then obviously Alabama has Jalen Milroe, who's a running back playing quarterback. I don't know. I just look at the LSU team against A&M. It just seemed like they weren't prepared for Reed at all, you know?
Yeah, no, clearly they were fucking shell-shocked.
I mean, 5 straight touchdown drives. I think
Blake Baker, like when he came,
the blame there goes to the coaching staff.
Has to.
Yeah.
It looked like they might have. They were like, "Who the fuck is that?"
Just
it looks like they never saw Marcel Reed in their life.
Yeah, just a week before they played a running quarterback in Taylon Green for Arkansas, and they
bottled him up.
Then he didn't do anything. So I think that's a thing to look at. fresh on their minds, 2 weeks to prepare, plenty of film to look at from those 5 touchdown drives and see what they did wrong against a quarterback that beat him primarily with his legs.
Mm-hmm.
And then you look at the Alabama, their defense, it's really not that great. A lot of holes in the secondary, and even at the line of scrimmage, they aren't very strong. So it's not the Alabama defense of the past, you know?
No, not even close. There's holes in the secondary. No, I mean, this is pretty we do this every year. We do this every single year with Alabama, LSU. Obviously, we're LSU fans through and through. It's the biggest game of the year. This is like Ohio State, Michigan. Like, if you beat Bama, but you have a bad year overall, it's still a good year. LSU at home, you're getting 3 points. Saturday night in Death Valley, Brian Kelly coming off of a bye. An Alabama team that is vulnerable. The secondary is not as good as it has been in years past. The defense as a whole is not as good. This team, for the first half against Georgia, looked like the clear-cut best team in the country, and then all of a sudden, something happened. They lose to Vanderbilt. They should have lost to South Carolina. This is a vulnerable Alabama team. That's not Nick Saban over there anymore, okay? Everything is still in play for both of these teams, but after tonight, or after Saturday, somebody's done. It's over with. Brian Kelly, I am begging you. And for some odd reason, I feel pretty good about it. I feel confident. Saturday night in Death Valley, getting 3 points against Alabama, you got to fucking handle business. This is a legacy game for Garrett Nussmeier. He imploded down the stretch against Texas A&M. I have faith that they're going to come back and they're going to handle business. And LSU is going to firmly still be alive in this college football playoff race. Jalen Milroe looks like he may have been battling an injury over the last few weeks. Both teams are going to be much more healthy coming off of a bye. But LSU's wide receiver core also was banged up. Now you same thing, coming off of a bye. You're gonna have a lot more to work with there. It's got to be LSU. It's got to be. Blake Baker with a chance to now. We're exactly the perfect example is Arkansas, because Taylon Green is electric with his legs. Taylon Green is probably the most comparable in the SEC to Jalen Milroe with the ability to run, and he didn't do a single thing. Understand it's not the same. They don't have a Ryan Williams, but they have a good wide receiver. Is it Knowles? They have talent, regardless. I think you give Blake Baker a chance to, as long as he knows who he is, because he looked like he had no idea who Marcel Reed was. He was like, who is that? I don't know how you fell that short with a mobile quarterback. But time and time again this year, he's kind of gotten into his bag in terms of dialing up pressure and this and that. So the scheme, everything's going to be centered around Jalen Milroe. I think they're going to make his life difficult. I trust Nussmeier. Everybody wants to call for his head. It was a bad game. You can quiet everybody with a good game here. So I'm taking LSU +3 on the home field, and we're in agreement there. I am going to the second biggest game, or I guess another big game. Georgia and Ole Miss. Are you on it?
No.
You got a lean?
Yeah.
Which one?
Well, I don't know. It wouldn't surprise me if Ole Miss upsets Georgia.
Yeah, I'm taking Ole Miss. You're going to give me 3 points at home. We've seen Georgia look dominant twice this year. Clemson and Texas. We've also seen them lose to Alabama. They got tested by Kentucky and Florida. Carson Beck is not that good. I said it before this season started. It's why I bet on Ohio State. Everybody and their grandmother was betting Georgia to win the national championship. Carson Beck has done nothing to be worthy of the praise that he got coming into the season. He's not that good. 11 interceptions on the year, and in the biggest games, Clemson, Bama, and Texas, 5 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. And he played great against Clemson. All those interceptions came against Texas and Alabama. Maybe Georgia will turn it on a little like they did against Texas, but I have to take the points here with Ole Miss. Dart's the better quarterback. Ole Miss has a very good defense. Ole Miss was a drop deep ball touchdown away against LSU from getting off to a great start there. They got stuffed on short yardage situations. So LSU won the game, but Ole Miss missed on some things that they may be able to convert on in this one. I'm not a fan of Lane Kiffin. I've said that many a times, but this is a golden opportunity because it's the same thing. This is not the usual Georgia team. There's chinks in the armor, mainly with the most important position. Carson Beck is just not that good. He's just not. He turns the ball over way too much. He's got dead eyes. I've said it a million times. You can't trust somebody with eyes like Carson Beck. So I'm taking the points with Ole Miss. You're going to give me 3? I'm taking 3.
Yeah, I'll take it as well, and I agree. You look at last week's game. I mean, Ole Miss, I had the under 54. They frickin' scored 60s, 63 or 64.
Yeah, I think it was 63.
It was explosive play after explosive play. But, yeah, I agree. Georgia last week against Florida. If Lagway doesn't go out,
they probably lose. Yeah.
Florida's would have been in serious trouble of losing that game. And they had a third-string quarterback in from Yale, a freshman.
And they botched the...
And it was 2020 with a few minutes left in the third quarter.
What they do, they botched the hold on the field goal, right, to take the lead.
Yeah.
And then that gave Georgia a short yardage situation.
The snapper snapped it way too low and skipped it back about 35 yards.
And so then Georgia had good field position, went down and scored immediately after. Yeah, no, this is a Florida team where Billy Napier was expected to be fired. They haven't looked good. They're down exactly what you said to a third-string quarterback.
Yeah, and Lagway was able to hit him with one deep ball. That's the one thing Lagway has shown that's been impressive is his ability to throw downfield. And he ended up hitting one for a touchdown before he went out.
Yeah, they very easily could have lost to Kentucky.
Yeah.
That was a 2-point game? They scored in the 20s, I believe. Let me see. Am I thinking of? Yeah, it was 13-12. We've been accustomed to Georgia where they have one of those games a year. One game a year, they get tested and they nearly lose, but then they handle business and because they're the best team in the country. This year, there's been 3 or 4 of those situations, and they lost to Bama. So, yeah, I'm taking Ole Miss. I'm taking Ole Miss at home, getting points. Carson Beck has 11 interceptions. How many times do you have to see it before we go, okay, Carson Beck's just not that good? There's not anything that I've seen that makes me think that he's going to, turn a corner all of a sudden and light it up. He might, but if I'm a gambling man, which we clearly are, I'm going to bet that he's going to fucking throw more interceptions.
Yeah.
So, Ole Miss +3. I am going to another one, 7 p.m. kick. See what you think about this. Might be a bad play, but I'm going to lay 13 points with Penn State at home. Night game in Happy Valley, Penn State coming off a loss. Washington has not won a road game all season. They're averaging 17 points a game, 10 of 38 on third down. That's 20% on the road. I think we see Penn State squeeze Washington here, make life much more difficult for them to score the ball. James Franklin is in his yearly hot water because he can't win big games, but he loves to cover these games. So, and if it comes down to a situation where they're up 7 or 8 or whatever down the stretch and they have the ball 3 minutes to go, they're scoring that motherfucker. So, if they can. So, I'm going to lay with Penn State in a bounce-back spot. They're still, they're 6 now. They're still very much in the mix as well.
Yeah, the playoff ranking just came in. I was trying to pull them up, but.
And then, let's see. I think I have. No, that might be it for me.
Yeah, I'm done as well.
Okay.
But, yeah, I agree. I think Washington probably struggles with score here.
Do you have a lock or did you?
No, I have it. I didn't give it up.
Okay. I was thinking about that. I probably should have gave one. I should have went back to doing it just because Justin's not here anymore. But I didn't. That's all I got. So. All right, that is our best bets for college football outside of our locks of the week, which we will get to now.
It's a lock, Kramer. You've had this thing under control for almost 3 years now. But it's a lock.
They need that fucking juice. They need that next bet. They need. Come on. Yes! When they win, they go fucking crazy.
You're a bad motherfucker. Go in that shower, grab your fucking nuts, and tell the world somebody's sniffing my fucking nutsack today.
All right, I'm going to go back to it. We didn't really get to break down the Auburn-Vanderbilt game because we spent all our time talking about Penn State, Ohio State. But Auburn outgained Vanderbilt by 100 yards in this game and lost by 10 points. Vanderbilt only had 223 yards of total offense. Vanderbilt 6-3. They've been outgamed in 5 of their 9 games. I think South Carolina gives you a little bit more offensively than Auburn did last week. Defensively, South Carolina wreaks havoc, especially with their front 7. I think Vanderbilt struggles offensively, and it kind of cost them here, or it finally cost them here. South Carolina's red hot. I don't know if I really see this as much of a letdown spot. South Carolina's 5-3. They're really just a solid team that has 3 losses.
South Carolina's good.
I mean, their playoff picture's out, but
The only bad game they played was Ole Miss.
Yeah.
They were in the mix with us late, and then they should have beat Alabama if Lenore Sellers could see.
Vanderbilt less than 300 yards against Texas, less than 300 yards against Auburn. I'm hoping they go for less than 300 yards against South Carolina, because if they do, I definitely think South Carolina covers the 3.5 point spread here.
Yeah, I don't dislike that pick at all. I told you, it's Pavia or nothing for me these
It was
days,
such an annoying game last week because Auburn, exactly how you thought it would go, Auburn's defense matching up against Vanderbilt, really holding them to not much at all.
Yeah.
And then Auburn moved the ball a little bit, but just couldn't get it done on third down. Peyton Thorne didn't play terrible. He didn't do enough to win the damn game, though.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, no, I don't dislike it at all. So, all right, to recap, I am taking, what is it, Friday? I'm going Cal Wake Forest under 55. We're going Iowa minus 5.5. In no particular order, Cincinnati minus 4.5, Minnesota minus 6, LSU plus 3, Kansas plus 3, Ole Miss plus 3, Penn State minus 13.5.
Okay, Thursday, App State plus 1. We're also taking the App State Coastal Carolina over 62.5. We're going to go to Friday and jump on board with Logan. We're going to take Iowa minus 5.5. We're taking North Texas plus 5.5. We're taking South Carolina minus 3.5 as the lock of the week. Ole Miss plus 3 and LSU plus 3.
There you go. That is our best bets and Nick's lock of the week for college football. Again, the slump is ending. I feel good about this week. I really do. We're going to turn our attention to the NFL. We'll do a quick recap and then give you our best bets and see if we can keep the streak going on Thursday night. NFL, Thursday, my only winner. 1-4 week. It was a bad week for me. Jets minus 1.5. It was a spot for the Jets. We told you they got it done. It was a little dicey, but they got it done. That's all that matters. Packers plus 3.5. Weather was firmly in play. It was raining the entire time. Jordan Love wants to keep aggravating injuries. Jordan Love is an idiot. That's the best way I can put it. The interception on the screen pass that was returned for a pick six was just a decision that you cannot make as a professional quarterback, one that is firmly on a team that has postseason expectations. He is stacking week after week really bad interceptions, so he needs to stop that as quick as he can. Browns plus 2 was the lock of the week. Sucker pick, in my opinion. Bad play.
Yeah.
I said I was going to ride Jameis till the wheels fell off, but I also said the wheels might fall off this week. He could throw 3 interceptions. Jameis Winston, dude, that is the Jameis experience. He can go for 303 touchdowns and win you the game, and then the very next week turn around and all of a sudden every single throw, every single ball he puts in the air could be caught by the other team. So that was inexcusable bad play. That's on us. Bears plus 1, equally as bad of a play. I felt like the Cardinals' defense is bad, that it would make life easier for Caleb Williams, that the Bears still had a good defense that they can lean on. There's turmoil in that locker room. I got to stop hitching my wagon to organizations that are about to fire their coach, which the Bears, Eberflus is going to be fired, guaranteed. He's a horrible, horrible coach. They gave up a fucking touchdown on the ground, a run, like a 60-yard run with 4 seconds left in the first half. Caleb Williams is not very good yet. I'm not saying he won't be. The offensive line is terrible, so he's behind the 8 ball for sure, but he does some dumb shit too. The play calling's really bad. You have a lot of good wide receivers that the whole scheme is fucked from top to bottom. The Bears are really bad. Colts plus 6 on Sunday night. I'm going to be completely honest with you. I thought they were going to play Anthony Richardson. We gave this play out before they benched him. Joe Flacco didn't really do anything good and kept putting the ball up in harm's way. So it's like, let Anthony Richardson do that with the threat to run. I would have put Richardson back in the game before that game was over. I texted you that. And I think Richardson's the worst quarterback to ever play in this fucking league. But, yeah, Joe Flacco was putting the ball up in harm's way. And I don't know. Jonathan Taylor, is he washed? He can't run the fucking football. Trey Sermon looks even – the holes were opening for Trey Sermon. He looks like he's running with lead weights attached to his feet. It's crazy because it's time for him to pack it in. Anyway, we go 1-4. The Colts had a chance to backdoor this after giving up. The Colts were firmly inside the number for the vast majority of this game. They let the Vikings go down and score. They have a chance to backdoor it, and they decided to take the fucking field goal. Nothing kills a backdoor like being down 11 points and then having a fucking shit-for-brains coach who's a pussy decide to kick a field goal. So 1-4 brings me to 26-28, 4-5 in my locks of the week. I tell you what, on a week, and I shouldn't even say it, but 3-3 could have been 5-1. You gotta fucking get those, because then you come back and you fucking shit down your leg and go 1-4, and that's how bad shit happens. So you had your usual 3 plays. It was a solid 2-1.
Yeah,
for you.
Jets on Thursday night, and then we were on the Browns as well for the lock. Bad bet. And then we had the Dolphins plus 6.5. The Dolphins hung in there for most of the game, you know?
Yeah.
And then they tied it with a little bit of time left, and the Bills were able to get into a 61-yard field goal range, and Tyler Bass hit it like it was an extra point.
Yeah. Alrighty. So you go 2-1, you're 16-14, 4-4 in your locks of the week. And we turn our attention to week 10 of the NFL. And if you're tuning in to this show for anything at this point, which it ain't that bad. Don't make no mistake. It ain't going that bad. But my point being, if there's anything that you should tune into this for, it's to hear what we're betting on Thursday night, because we absolutely fucking dominate Thursday. We're 7-2, should be 8-1. And we have a big-time divisional matchup here. The Cincinnati Bengals going on the road to take on the Baltimore Ravens. The Ravens are 6-point favorites. The total sits at 52.5, give or take. Do you feel good?
I guess.
Side or total?
Side.
Okay, so let's go 3-2-1 and just say it and just see if we're aligned, okay?
Okay.
So 3-2-1, say the team. 3-2-1,
Bengals.
Got to do it. Bengals
But I
plus
think,
6.
let me see.
I got stuff written down on it.
Okay, yeah, just 6.
First meeting, the Ravens won 41-38 in overtime, a game that had over 950 yards of offense. Time of possession, turnovers were basically essentially even across the board. Neither team covers well in the secondary. This is one of those. Does the Bengals defense?
The Ravens traded for Trey White, I think.
Oh, Tre'Davious White. Yeah, who cares?
I guess he wasn't doing shit with the Rams because
Yeah.
I haven't heard anything about him. But when he was with the Bills, he was one of the best.
Yeah, but then he got hurt.
Yeah.
I don't think he's what he used to be. Okay. Yeah, no, I'm going Bengals.
It's a divisional game, and it means
This is
a
it
lot for both of the teams. But it means like this is like nearly.
This is do or die.
If they haven't died already, this is it. You know.
Yeah.
So I think at the very least, you see the Bengals keep it close.
They're going to be inspired at least. Like they know it's gut check time. It's do or die. Derrick Henry had a good game last time. The problem for the Bengals was they were very one-dimensional on the offensive side of the ball. They couldn't run it whatsoever. Joe Burrow is just Joe Burrow, so they were able to still put points up on the board. But Chase Brown's running the ball very well. I think he had 120 yards last week. Provides an option out of the backfield. Zach Moss has got a neck injury. He's not going to play. But I'm backing Joe Burrow. He's playing great. I understand there's a lot of talking heads that want to get up there and say that he needs to play better and he's not doing enough to win. He's got 20 touchdowns, 4 picks, 2,244 yards on the year. He's playing fucking good. So Lamar's playing great too. Don't get me wrong. I think a lot of people are going to hammer the over again as well. If I had to say which way I leaned, I'm not betting it, but I would lean under. I think it's just one of those, you're going to look back at this previous score from earlier in the year and you're going to see 41-38 and you're going to go, okay, 52.5, I'm going over. It's an easy no-brainer. I wouldn't be so quick to jump to that. The Bengals are going to have to play inspired on the defensive side of the ball if they're going to have a shot in this one. I don't think we're going to see another one of these shootouts like we saw last time. So there you go. That is our Thursday night play. Bengals plus 6 on the road. We're hitching our wagon to Joe Burrow again. It's been a profitable experience through the years. So, okay, let's go to Sunday. What's your first play?
I'm gonna go to just Monday night because
That's all you got left?
I have that, and then my lock is on Sunday.
Okay, go ahead.
Rams are at home. They're taking on the Dolphins. I'm gonna lay the 2.5 with the Rams. I think they're playing pretty good lately. The Dolphins look a lot better now with Tua. I just think, I don't know. I have a hard time getting behind the Dolphins at this point.
Okay.
In the season with where their record's at and stuff like that. I do think you look at the total, it's 50.5 points. So you can expect both teams to score. I just think the Rams have a little bit more consistency.
Yeah, I don't disagree. I am on the over, though. I'm over 50.5. I think naturally the offensive side of the ball is happy to have Tua back, and it's been a tough go for them with Huntley and Skylar Thompson and this and that. So the skill position players, they want to put numbers up. Tyreek Hill wants to, which there's rumors, is he going to get traded to Kansas City? There was rumblings, but then they got Hopkins. Well, no, the trade deadline's passed now. Yeah. There was rumblings. Anyway, point being, when you get the quarterback back, they are sitting at 2-6. They pretty much know the season's over, but the receivers are still going to want to get their yards and their numbers, and they've got bonuses and this and that, and they want to put points up on the board. But that doesn't mean that the defense is not still bad. And the Rams are much more healthy at the skill position now. Puka Nacua, he's not suspended, right?
Yeah, that's what I was wondering.
He just got ejected the one game, or that game.
It wasn't really like a bad punch. I mean,
yeah, I don't know. Regardless, they're healthier at the skill position. Kyron Williams is good for a touchdown pretty much every damn week. So yeah, I think points will be scored in this one. I don't feel confident enough backing the Dolphins against the Rams on their home field. I think the Rams, it was looking like they could have went the direction of the Dolphins. They've stacked some good wins here. A good overtime win against Seattle. So the Rams are firmly right there with it. They still have a shot this year. They still have things to play for. So yeah, I'm going over 50.5. I'm also going to go to the Saints and the Falcons. You on it?
No.
Obvious spot, going to be fired up. They want to play for Rizzy. And we can Dennis Allen, like we talked about earlier. The team's going to be fired up. They're going to want to go out and get a win for the interim head coach. Problem is we fucking suck. So you can want to win all you want, but we stink. So I'm going under 46.5. Olave is more than likely going to be out. I think it would defy all odds if he played. The team is going to be juiced up on the defensive side of the ball. The Falcons, I don't know what to make of the Falcons. One week they look great. Most weeks they look just okay. I'm betting on the Saints to come out with some juice on the defensive side of the ball and show a little heart here. And then you just don't really have any skill position players outside of Kamara. With Olave not being there now, Shaheed, it's insert Derek Carr throwing to Cedric Wilson and a bunch of other trash cans. And you know how I feel about Derek Carr. So under 46.5. I am also going to take I glossed over it. The Germany game. Giants, -5. I'm laying it. Panthers got outgained by 200-plus yards. They lost, like we talked about. It was an unprecedented loss for the Saints where they dominated every key statistical category to win a football game, and they still managed to lose. That's why Dennis Allen's out of the job. I don't think this means the Panthers are good. I think that's just how bad we are. So I'm going to lay it with the Giants here. They have a good defense. Daniel Jones finally figured out how to throw a touchdown on the home field. It's crazy to be laying nearly approaching a touchdown with a 2-7 Giants team, but I don't think the Panthers are good. So, yeah, I'm laying it with the Giants, and then all I have left is my lock of the week.
Okay.
You as well?
Yep.
All righty. Time for our locks of the week in the NFL, our best bets.
It's a lock. Kramer, you've had this thing under control for almost 3 years now, but it's a lock.
They need that fucking juice. They need that next bet. They need, come on. Yes! When they win, they go fucking crazy.
You're a bad motherfucker. Go in that shower, grab your fucking nuts, and tell the world somebody's sniffing my fucking nuts actually. Because I ain't got time to fuck around no more.
All right, for my lock of the week in the NFL, this is familiar territory. We're going to take the Jaguars +4 on their home field against the Vikings. The Vikings offensive line is going to give up pressure to Sam Darnold. I think the Jaguars have the guys on the D-line that can get after him. Sam Darnold is showing some of those flashes of the old Sam Darnold, throwing questionable interceptions, putting the ball up for grabs. I think 4 points is too many. Trevor Lawrence, they pay you a lot of money. Justin said they put your name on the stadium. It's time to act like it. Defend the home field here. Jaguars +4 is my lock of the week.
Okay, I'm going to the New York Jets at Arizona Cardinals. Cardinals are 1.5-point favorites. I'm going to take the Jets plus 1.5 here. I'm just not a real big fan of Kyler Murray. I think he's playing okay sometimes, bad sometimes. I think the inconsistencies here are cause for concern. So the Jets have looked like shit, all right, until the second half of the Texans game. I don't know. It kind of feels like maybe the Jets are finally getting some momentum going here. But that's what I believe. I'm taking the Jets plus 1.5.
Alrighty, there you go. That is our best bets of the week for the NFL. To recap, Thursday night, I'm taking the Bengals -6. The Giants in Germany, early game, -5. Saints and Falcons under 46.5. The Dolphins and Rams over 50.5. And my lock of the week, the Jacksonville Jaguars +4 on their home field.
We're taking the Bengals +6, the Jets +1.5 for the lock of the week. And then on Monday night, we're taking the Rams -2.5.
There you go. Episode 203 is in the books. Again, hit that like and subscribe button wherever you're watching or listening. It helps us out tremendously. Episode 203. You got anything to say before we go?
Good luck, everybody.
Jesse, we appreciate you helping us out. Like I said, we're going to be playing Producer Roulette for the remainder of the year, but there is money to be made, so we might as well make it. Again, hit the like and subscribe button. We are on the north side of 750 subscribers, so we're approaching 800. It's a stressful time right now, but you're going to wake up tomorrow and shit is going to be the same. You're going to have to go to work, and there's, like I said, there is going to be money to be made. It's always easier no matter who's president if you're winning sports bets. So let's do that. Who dat?
The house always wins. Play long enough, you never change the stakes. The house takes you. Unless, when that perfect hand comes along, you bet big, and then you take the house. Been practicing this a little bit. Did I rush it? Felt like I rushed. It was good. I liked it.